Correspondent in Moscow, Russia, Albina Kovalyova. Thank you very much for joining us. Albina, what has been the reaction in Russia to the downing of the fighter jet?
Well, we've had very strong words today from Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, who has called this a stab in the back by Turkey, who he says was a friend of Russia. He also said that this was an act of accomplices of terrorists. Now, that's very strong wording from the Russian president, who has vowed to take vengeance on terrorists inside Syria following the Paris terrorist attacks, but also the explosion that rocked the Russian airliner over the Sinai in Egypt.
What impact do you think this might have on Russia's bombing campaign in Syria at the moment?
Well, it's hard to see how Russia would back down from its fight against those who are opposed to Assad. Russia has vowed only to intensify its fight against IS and has in fact done so with more intense airstrikes in the recent week. Russia is due to host President Hollande of France this week, and they are to discuss coordinated action between Russia and France in Syria. But the Syrian war is very much part of the Russian agenda, so it is not clear that today's incident could deter Russia from that path that it is set on.
What can you tell us about the fate of the two pilots in the fighter jet?
Well, it's very interesting. In terms of the fate of the two pilots, we don't know for certain. There are very conflicting reports. We've had Turkmen officials saying that they have shot down those pilots as they were coming down on parachutes from the plane as it was going down. We've also had just recently a Turkish official saying that they are still alive and are being held by rebels. So there has been no reaction from Russia, no confirmation about the fate of those pilots. We will hopefully hear more in the hours and perhaps days to come.
The foreign minister for Russia has cancelled a trip to Turkey, but I'm wondering if the two sides will have meetings in the near future to try and manage the situation.
Well, that would certainly be the hope, but as of yet, there are no planned visits. Foreign Minister Lavrov's visit to Turkey tomorrow, as you say, was cancelled. He also suggested to Russians to not go to Turkey. Turkey is a very popular holiday destination for Russians. He said that there is no guarantee of safety for Russians. It is just as dangerous in Turkey as it is in Egypt in terms of the terrorist threats there. So very strong language coming from the Russian foreign minister and the president today. So it is hard to see at which point the two sides, the Russian and the Turkish, will start talking about this incident, sitting down and negotiating and moving forward.
All right, one final question. The Russian president has a reputation of being quite strong and tough and taking very definitive stances on situations. I would imagine that he's under pressure here back home in Russia to be seen to be doing something as their soldiers and their planes has been brought down.
Well, certainly the kind of coverage we've had by state television today has not denied what has been going on. It has been very much playing it up. But basically, this is the first time that Russia has had a loss during the 2-month campaign in Syria with the airstrikes in Syria. So it is a very significant moment for Russia. And to play it right at home is crucial. At the moment, the Russian population, if you believe the latest polls, nearly 50% would rather support the action in Syria, rather support it than don't. So the Russian government very much wants to keep the public opinion in support of its actions in Syria.
All right, and that's where we'll leave it. Thank you very much indeed. Albina Kovalyova, who's speaking to us live from Moscow in Russia about developments taking place today. Of course, Turkish Air Force jet blowing down a plane from Russia.